Page 83, Humoresque. Very famous melody by Dvorák. There's a lot of different humoresques by different composers, but this generally is the one people think of most of the time, I think, at least for piano, and this is a nice arrangement of it. I look it over, it's 3 pages long, treble and bass clef at least to start. There's one sharp in the key signature, so it's either in the key of G major or E minor. Go ahead and do the scales and arpeggios for both of those. This kind of changes around. It's basically it starts in G major, so okay. And then common timer 4/4 time. And we have a lot of dotted rhythms. They're the challenge. That and the parallel thirds. You see down on measure 9 and so forth, there's parallel thirds. Those will be a challenge too. We'll get there. Check the notes and the rhythms first. Now on these rhythms, the dotted rhythms, we need to hear the rest. Don't connect them. No, we want to hear a rest in there. And to make it even more challenging, the dotted rhythm's got to be a dotted rhythm and not a triplet. Because if it starts to rock, dotted. That's a triplet. When it rocks like that, those are triplets. It's got to be crisp. That short note's got to be shorter than that. Make it extra short if you have to with it. 2 note slurs, down, up, okay. You get to measure 9 here. Again, short. And your fingering is fine. Okay. But then when you get to measure 11, here, I prefer a 1/4 here, because then I can do a 2/3. I can connect it. I connect most of them. So I do a 1/4, 4, 2, 3. And then 1/4, I'm trying to, that's what I want to connect first, and I do the other if I can. Now here, I got to use 3 again here. And when I get to measure 13, I want thumb on that B, because I got to come up here. So the end of measure 12 here, I don't want a 1/2. Well, I can do a 1/2 here if you want, or do a 2/3. However you want to do it, but we need thumb on measure 15. And it's the same fingering as the line above. And then here again, this is measure 17, 1/4. Now we got 2 voices going on. You see them? They're different rhythms. So hold them down. And then here, the grace note I'll come back to. And then here, and then come down. 1, 2, you can slide all. Here. So it's a little bit tricky, but I'll try to finger these in a way that I can connect them as much as I can. When we get over to measure 25, this is a different section. This is kind of a minor. But again, there's 2 voices. Make sure you hold the half note. So in measure 25, very slowly, here, and then now I'm going from 1/3 to 2/4. I'm using the thumb as my pivot, my anchor. I'm coming across here. I can't connect this, but this tells me where I'm at. Again. Measure 28. 2/3, and then 1/5, you gotta come up. Not a lot you can do about it. And then 1/4, 1/3. And then on measure 29, we got octaves again. I use the 1/4 for the black key, but you can use 1/5. Some people do, I don't teach. But again, I only aim 1 finger. And I'll let the other finger flex at the wrist so you don't get tense. Just make it nice and slow and exaggerated if you have. Yeah, And you gradually get it. You can't connect them, but you pretend you can. Now remember, there is an F sharp in the key signature. And then top of page 85, you're back to the theme you were at the beginning. And because of the grace note, you're going to have to play that G with a fourth finger or fifth finger, each whichever, but you have the rest. You can come out, or doesn't matter. Now measure 39, look out here. And the 3 bars, the 30-second notes, is just real quick. Here. Here. Technically, it's 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and it's both of those are on 4E and 4E and we don't really count each of this. They go too quick. Just you feel them here. Now, just a little bit about fingering this at the beginning on page 83 here. I don't like crossing under the thumb any more than I have to, and I generally teach not to. So we can catch all of this. You just spread out. I got all that in one hand position, and then I can come up. So that first measure, all but the last note, was in one hand position. I'm going to measure 3. I just 4, 2. I got all that in one hand position. All of those. I didn't have to cross over the thumb. And anywhere else I get this, I'm going to do the same thing. The fingering that you try at first to work out, you may have to change it later. We have to be flexible. The fingering works right now, but who knows? In the left hand, I don't see a lot going on there. You just play it as connected as you can. The last measure on page 83, here, here, I do it to 4, and then down, and then here. Hold the D down, that last beat, that's a quarter note. And the natural sign in front of the D, well, we just had a D sharp in this measure, so we have to have the natural sign, otherwise that would be a D sharp. So once I have an idea of the fingering for each hand, I'll attempt to put them together, and I may hesitate. That's fine. I don't care. It's here. Here. So I'm trying to get the whole measure in that left hand in one hand position if I can. Measure 3. Grace notes I do later. Right now, just play with 4th finger. And actually, the fingering there, you can use a 4, 5, 1 if you want. Or, because there's a rest, you can use that. Move during the rest. Whichever. Pick one. But be consistent. Do them all the same, whatever you choose. So I go through and I put the hands together. And then I'll go back over it like a measure or 2 at a time, and I'll work out the hesitations. No hesitations anywhere except for the page turn for now. We'll deal with that later. Once I can do that, I'll think about the articulation and these other little grace notes and things they put in here. You're connecting this as much as you can. Lift up for the rest. Like a measure 4 here. Connect that. Connected as best you can. And then grace notes, people don't interpret grace notes the same, and they don't agree, and no matter what I say, somebody will disagree, and I really don't care. But I was taught in college to play them on the beat. There is a way to notate them in the music if they want them played before the beat, and that is simply put the grace note right in front of the bar line. That's an indication to play it before the beat. Here, I play the B here. Real quick. You can almost chunk it, which means you play them both at the same time and lift up on that. But in this piece, we would prefer play a short note. So it's here. Same thing on measure 8. I play it. It's almost like you're giving the dotted half note or the melody note an agogic accent. An agogic accent is a kind of accent where you delay the note just a little bit, and that delay gives it attention. Roger Williams was a famous pianist that did a lot of stuff, contemporary stuff. He did a lot of agogic accents. He would delay the note. He would have a tendency of, I'm going to go to any passage that would go to here, feeling. He would delay that last note like that. It would give it an agogic accent to give it just a little more emphasis. And that's sort of what we're doing here. We're delaying the main note, just an agogic accent, just to delay it. Now when you get to the bottom of page 84, the last measure, here you got these little notes. Try and do them in one hand position. You can roll it. You don't have to cover them all at once. Just roll it. Here, if you don't want to be up here, you got to cross over. I don't recommend it. Here, I would play them before the beat because we want this. I don't want to delay that much. If I delay it, it's here. I think here in interpreting it, I would play these right before the beat here. So it would be my 16th notes. 1, E, and so all of that goes together. So I'm just kind of here. It's interpretation. However your teacher tells you to do it is fine. But then on the next measure, I'd still do that grace note on the beat. The last measure on page 85, grace notes again. I do the grace notes together. And I do the grace notes on the beat, so it's 1, 2, 3. Can't really tell because you're slowing down and who knows where the beat is. But the grace notes come together. Now at the beginning, page 83, between the stabs, it has a P and then a legato. The P is for the dynamics. The legato was part of the articulation. Legato means connected. That's the right hand. Don't cover up the rests. We got to have, there's no connecting it there because of the rest, but the left hand we want to connect it as best you can in the left hand. As far as the dynamics go, P is soft, right hand. Moderately soft. Come back down soft. The left hand's got to be in the background. Keep it out of the way. So in measure 4, while I'm doing this, I want to hear that. Don't drown it out. And then back down to soft. And at measure 6, instead of getting up, now we're coming down to soft. Very soft. This is very soft. This is super soft. And now staccato. I disagree with her PP there at the end. Keep in mind that the dynamics and the hairpins and so forth are not always placed exactly where they go. You gotta let the music tell you what's going on. Here, you started very soft here in that line. And you come down. You're already very soft. You're not coming down much more. The left hand needs to be super soft. Like 3-piece. And then you're going back at measure 9. They're not real clear here. I would do this about a moderately soft up to moderately loud here. Because you're loud there in measure 10, and then you come down here, down soft, and you go back up, moderately loud to loud. Loud, come down, and the last last measure of the page, they give you sforzando. Isn't that nice? The sforzando is the strongest accent there is. It is a boom, but it's got to be music. And then come down. Don't know if I like that effect or not, but that's what the music's saying to do, so okay. And it's the right hand. The left hand's just kind of stay out of the way. The top of page 84, you're very soft here. And the left hand's super soft. Now, measure 25, next section, you're loud. That's what we want to, and you go up to, I think probably you could get away with starting that moderately loud and going up to loud here. Do it again, go up again. For measure 27, they didn't give you a crescendo there. I would add one. And then get softer. Now you're very loud, measure 29. Just a lot of weight. Now at the top of page 85 here, they don't tell you anything. In my opinion, this should be as it is in the beginning. You're soft here again. I'm not going to play that loud or very loud. That's just out of, no. So I'm playing page 85 similarly to what I did on page 83 because it's very similar to what it is. Speed, well, grazioso is playful, happy, funny. That's think happy. Oh, I need more coffee for happy. Okay. 1, 2, somewhere in there. You check it with a metronome, but that, in my opinion, that's about where it could be. And the whole thing can be about that speed, except when you slow down. However, after the slow down, I always take off again. Now they've added pedal here. And we need pedal, but we don't want to lose this. So I'm only adding pedal where I need it to help me connect the notes. Here, they say with light pedal, but they don't tell you where. Isn't that nice? I wish they'd tell you where. It's entirely up to you and your interpretation, your teacher. If I were your teacher, I'd take a pencil and I'd mark in exactly where I wanted you to pedal, because the experiment. If I want to connect the left hand, I got to pedal long enough to connect the notes. So it's here, and then pedal there. So I don't know that I would want to pedal at the beginning because I want this. I don't want to cover it up. If I pedal it, cover it up. There is another type of pedaling you can try. Now, if you have an electronic keyboard, I don't know, some will, some won't. And that is you push the pedal down just a little bit. Just a little bit. You still get it's not total, like it all the way. You know, that's all the way down, but if you just barely touch it, light pedal is right with light. I mean, just barely putting it down. And every piano is a little different. So you have to experiment on how far you just go barely. You're almost just resting the foot on it, letting the weight of the foot push it down. I don't know how heavy your foot is. That's what we do for a lot of this. Now, when you get to measure 9, there you can use a little more pedal here. But I lift up for the rest of the left hand. Pedal any more than you have to, I guess is what I'm trying to say. However, at the bottom of the page, this mess, you pretty much got to pedal this, but you're going to have to change it so you don't get blurry. You hear? Change, 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 change. I'm changing with each beat there. I mean, I slowed way down as it sound. Yeah, you don't want to blur all that up with one pedal. Now, on page 23 here, we can pedal as a different. That's good, and then a lot of times, so I don't get that, I might not pedal to beat 2. That clears it out a bit. Measure 28, you got to pedal every beat. And the measure 29, I pedal every quarter note. With the left hand, I pedal. Because it gets too blurry. I don't want all that. So I'm pedaling it pretty much each beat. And on this one, the last measure of that page, here, I'm going to change the pedal here. I don't want both of this. I don't want all of that. So it's here. That's what I want, but I want to keep this. So I got to pedal on that first bit. Yeah, that's how I would do it. Again, how you pedal is interpreting. It's like dynamics, interpretation. Like slurs and staccatos, all part of interpreting the music. Do it the way your teacher tells you to do it if you have one, but otherwise experiment. Now we have to deal with this page turn. So what do we do here? Well, you go through your list of options. Okay, let's pretend you don't have anybody doing it for you and you're not going to bother to memorize page 83. Now there is another possibility in page turning I didn't mention in the last lesson, and that is if there's enough music on the one page that is the same as music on a different page, you may be able to read the music on the different page and not have to turn the page. There's a lot of pages in there. For instance, most of 83, page 83, is the same as page 85. There's a few measures that are different. Most of it's the same if you compare them. You get down to measure 8. That's different on those. So you have to notice that measure. It's different. Maybe you memorize that measure. And the last measure on the page on page 83 is different than the last measure on the page on page 85. Maybe you memorize the measure, that measure on page 83. So if you could memorize those two measures, then you don't need to turn the page. You just read page 85 and put in the measures on 83 that are different, and then you go and do page 84, and then you do 85 again as written. Then you don't have to turn the page at all. That's another possibility. However, you don't want to do that. We got to turn the page here, and both hands are busy, so we're going to have to leave out notes. So the question is, what do we do? Well, at the bottom of page 83, it slows down here. We don't want to mess up the beat. We don't want to slow down too much. We don't want any hesitations anywhere. So you may have to leave out some notes in the left hand. However, you'll notice the music at the top of page 84 is the same as the music at the top of page 83. So when you get down to the bottom of page 83, you're here. You go to the top of page 83, the same page, it's the same music, but add that grace note. So maybe somewhere in there, you can leave out some notes in the left hand. As you're doing this, turn the page real quick. Or at the last measure on page 83, leave out the left hand. Leave out that, and as you're doing that, turn the page real quick, and then you can go on. So you have options of what notes you're leaving out. Don't leave out any more than you have to. But figure it out so the beat is a steady beat all the way through. Even with the retardando, you don't want to retardando so much there's a pause. You got to keep a flow going. Slow flow, but it's a flow. Now I can't do that in the play with me. I have to stop, turn the page, and then count us in again. do page 83, and I'm going to stop. We'll turn, and I count us in, and we'll do pages 84 and 85. But we're going to go really, really slow for me. I'll give us 4 counts. I'm not doing louds and softs, just the notes and the rhythms. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest. Stop and turn the page. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest. Repeat.